So what are pores? What are these tiny little holes on our faces? What they are actually the connection of the hair follicle to the skin. Now each hair follicle has a tiny little gland called a sebaceous gland that's connected to the hair follicle. That sebaceous gland produces the oil sebum. Now sebum is actually very important for our skin because it protects our skin from bacteria, from irritants, from pollution. And so that's basically what a pore is. In 2016, a study was conducted to find out why we get large pores. So the first thing they concluded was overproduction of sebum. That's the oil from the sebaceous gland. And what happens is sebum comes up to the surface and actually expands that pore. And that's why if you have oilier skin, you tend to have enlarged pores. The second reason is a reduction in elasticity of the skin. Now, when your skin becomes more rigid as we age, the skin actually doesn't contract back around that pore to minimize it. It tends to stay large. And so that's why actually as we age and the skin sags and the skin becomes more rigid, pores also look larger. So how do we reduce our pore size? It's threefold. One, we have to keep the skin supple. Two, we have to keep our pores unclogged. And thirdly, we have to try and reduce the amount of sebum our skin is producing. So this is the bit of the video that everybody requests, and that is the product review. And so now we come on to the product section and how do you incorporate these products into your skincare routine? So the first thing you want to do is double cleanse. This means wash with something that attracts the water-based dirt. So something like Simple Wash is my favorite. As you can see, it's basically empty. I wear this every single day, so I definitely recommend it. Second, you want to apply a micellar water. So this will basically get rid of oil-based dirt. So this is the one that I use, and again, you can see it's basically half empty too. So how does micellar water work? Micellar water has two ends to each molecule. It's got a water-loving end and it's got an oil-loving end. The water-loving end tends to be attracted to the cotton pad that you've sprinkled your micellar water onto. And that means that the oil-loving tails are sticking out of the cotton pad. So when you then clean your face, those oil-loving tails will attract the oil dirt in your skin. And so that way you are getting rid of the water-based dirt and the oil-based dirt. And that really is essential for everybody, but especially if you're getting clogged pores. So just to let you know the names of those products, this is Simple, and it's for sensitive skin. I've got sensitive skin. And this is the Garnier Micellar Cleansing Water. Again, both products I will be linking in the comment section. And if you've got any questions about these products, also write it in the comments and I will respond. Okay, so this is the 10% niacinamide. It's a lovely consistency. It's a serum. And the reason why people love serums is because with serums, you're able to, it has a large water phase, and that means you're able to dissolve far more active ingredient. When you have a fattier cream, there's less water, and so guess what? You can dissolve less active ingredient. And that's why serums tend to be more expensive, they tend to be more effective for that reason. So after you've done your niacinamide, that's when I would add my hyaluronic acid. So again, this is the ordinary, and I like it for skin of color because it's telling me the percentage. So 2% is a decent percentage for hyaluronic acid. Don't forget, this is a very, very powerful humectant. That means one molecule of hyaluronic acid is going to attract 1,000 molecules of water. Now that's a blessing, but also if you don't know what you're doing, you can actually make your skin very dry. The reason being that when you apply this to your skin, if you're in a dry environment, for example, with air conditioning or central heating, or you live in a country like Saudi Arabia where it is very dry, then what's going to happen is the water has to come from somewhere, and it's going to come from your dermis. It's going to turn your dermis into a cactus. So that is going to dehydrate your skin very quickly. So you have to be very careful when you apply hyaluronic acid, and I'll tell you what to put on top to make sure the water is coming from other creams and not from your dermis. So this one is 2%, and I'm just going to show you what it looks like on my hand. So that's what it looks like. It's a nice consistency. And I'd apply this after I've applied the niacinamide. So I've got the active ingredient in, and then I've applied this on top. There's no irritation with this whatsoever, which is absolutely essential when it comes to skin of color. On top of this is when I would apply my pure emollient, your pure moisturizer with no actives in it. I love Cera-Pep. It's not an expensive cream. You can literally purchase large tubs of it, and I buy these by the dozen. And so basically, just to show you what it looks like, it's a lovely, pure, thick moisturizer, which you can apply on your face and to your body on top of hyaluronic acid. So you know the water molecules are coming from the cream. Now, the thing that you need to note is when you're applying moisturizer, what you're basically doing is allowing the skin to be more supple. And so that will allow your pore to close quicker. By making the skin more hydrated, you're allowing the oil to seep further into the skin rather than pooling on the top, because when it pools on the surface of the skin, again, the skin is stretching. The other thing you need to be careful of is you don't really want to strip too much oil from your skin, because your skin will try and self-regulate itself and start overproducing oil. So you need to be very careful to get that balance right, and that's why you don't want to stop yourself from hydrating. Hydration is essential. Now, in addition, once a week I would exfoliate with a 2% salicylic scrub, so something very gentle. You have to be very careful with skin of color, because we get micro tears actually if we scrub with something that's too abrasive, and that can lead to hyperpigmentation, which we definitely do not want. So I quite like Paula's Choice 2%. 2% is a good percentage, it's an anti-inflammatory percentage, but without irritating the skin. And then once a week I'd also use a charcoal mask. The reason being, and not on the same day as the exfoliation, leave it a few days and then do the mask. The reason I like charcoal masks is because charcoal's actually got a negative charge, and so it attracts the positively charged debris in the skin, and that just helps to unclog the pores. So that's my basic skincare routine I would recommend if you have skin of color and have large pores. Now, lastly is lifestyle choices. So there is one thing that you're not going to like, but it's going to help you, and that is to reduce the amount of sugar you consume. Because when you eat sugar, your insulin goes up. When your insulin goes up, it actually triggers the receptors that control sebum production. And what ends up happening is you have overproduction of sebum. This will then rise to the surface, it will open up that pore further, and you will start getting clogging of the pore, which will happen with dirt. And this can then lead to spots. So you get told over and over again, sugar is not good for you, but for pores, definitely it's a no-no. So if you enjoyed this video, please give me a thumbs up. If there's other content you want me to create for you specifically for skin of color, please write it in the comments section. I will make it for you. If you could also hit the notification bell for the latest up-to-date information specifically for skincare for skin of color. And if you know people who are struggling with their skin and you think that these videos will help them, please do share with them too. I look forward to seeing you in my next video. I've also made a skincare guide specifically for skin of color. And if you want to download that, it's completely free and it's available in the link below. And I hope you find it helpful.